Hey, I'm Paula Brewer, Terry Brewer's wife, and we're getting ready to talk about how the adventure of this beautiful statue of the hawk got here, and this was a special gift for Terry to celebrate the 40th anniversary for Brewer Science and all that he's accomplished in these 40 years. So we'll start out with at the beginning. Actually, the concept of having this sculpture here in this particular area was Doyle Edwards, and he came to me and suggested that we, put a sculpture up here. And so, as resident artist for Brewer Science, I took that got the bit in my teeth, and I ran with it. And the very first thing I did was to make a rather crude paper mache sculpture of what I wanted in the hawk, because hawks do really interesting things when they're getting ready to light on something like this stick or this branch that this hawk is on. They don't just come down and go plunk on top of it. They go down, they go up, and then they align themselves with the stick. This is what the hawk is doing right now. Then he would float up from here once he's got a hold of it. So this is what I wanted. I wanted that movement and that particular thing, and that's what the logo for the Brewer Science hawk is doing, actually. It's not just flying, it's coming in for a landing. So that was what I wanted, and that was what I was working for. And when I finally got what I wanted in my little paper mache, then I did several drawings of it. And I found a foundry in Norman, Oklahoma, the Crucible Art Foundry, and began working with them 3 years ago. And this is when this all started. It's been an interesting 3 years. So I contacted these people, told them what I wanted. I sent them drawings, sent them photographs of red-tailed hawks, talked to people many, many times, and Mark Paul Merton and I finally began the journey of getting this thing accomplished. And he would send me pictures of, first of all, it was just a computer vision of what they thought the hawk should look like, and they wanted me to approve of this. That was the beginning. And then after we found that we had everything we wanted there, then they began putting it into it's a sculpted of some kind of a clay, and it was exactly this size. And about that time, I was able to go to Norman, Oklahoma, once they got that all finished, and saw what it looked like, so that if I could make any suggestions about what they wanted to change, I could do that. And I was just blown away with what they had done. They had done an amazing job, and I really didn't need to change anything. And one thing that the guy that was the artist that did the sculpting suggested was that we put on this side of the stump of the hawk that's sitting on, there's a heart there. And my initials and my husband's initials are there. And I thought that was really nice, but I thought, I don't know whether this is too touchy-feely for a business. And so I talked to Doyle Edwards about it. He said, oh, no, that's wonderful. We're going to do that. So that's how this little part of it came about. And so we knew that we had what we wanted. And then after that, it was a matter of casting the sculpture in bronze, and that's a fascinating process. They took the clay version of what we're looking at here, and they encased it in a plaster, I don't know, some kind of a big encasing, and it would be really huge for this, and there's pipes coming out from all directions from this casing. Then they put this in a furnace and they melt the clay part that's already been done. That's melted, and they pour that out, and what's left, of course, is the cavity of the shape where that hawk was. And then they began pouring the liquid bronze into that cavity where the casting came out. And then once that sets up, they break that cast off away from the bronze. And it looks not like this bronze, it's just kind of gray colored. But that's the metal that comes out, and it's bronze. And then after that, they polish it, and they put on what they call a patina. And you can notice the highlights, that some of it is a little bit of color, especially on the hawk's tail. I was very adamant that we needed a little bit of copper color on the tail so that we know that this is a red-tailed hawk, because that's what the logo is. And so that was the beginning of that. And then once they get it cast, and they cast it in two separate parts, they cast the legs and the body, and then the perch with the claws on it was separate, and then they put those all together. There's a great big stainless steel rod that goes from probably about here up through here, and then goes up this branch, and then there's another part of it that goes under that branch, and that supports the hawk inside of this bronze. And then once this was all done, the next thing was to get the perch that the hawk was going to stand on. And this is where Dale Hobson and the people that work here at Brewer Science came into the picture. They did a wonderful job. They got a wonderful concrete man that, Chris Curley, I think was his name, that knows all about concrete, that did this. And they have, there are state rods, there are metal rods in here to support it. It goes way below the frost line. This is quite a structure. It looks very simple from this point, but it's a very complicated structure. It has a hole in it so that they can just stick the hawk's stainless steel pipe in there. And so this was the very last piece that we had to do, was to get this structure built. And like I said, Dale and his people did a wonderful job of that, because we've got over 300 pounds of bronze bird here. So this is no small thing, and there's going to be wind that's going to blow on this, all kinds of things that they anticipated. So they have this good, strong structure, then that hawk's not going anywhere. It's going to be in a firm place for forever. So anyway, that was the story about the hawk and how it got here. And like I said, it's a monument to Terry and what all he has accomplished over the last 40 years, which has been amazing. There have been a lot of ups and downs, economically, and anything you can imagine that he's had to deal with over the time. When he started the company, his vision, after having worked for some companies himself, was to have a company where the employees could have a chance to do what they wanted with their job and take it as far as they possibly were capable of doing, and nobody was going to hold them back. That was a very important thing to him. And of course, then to have a successful business too, one that was going to support all of his employees. The employees who now, by the way, are part owners of Brewer Science. And Terry also supported the Rolla community. He's brought art and music to the Rolla community and the communities around. He has supported a lot of charities and fundraising organizations in the community as well. And somebody told me one time, well, he has to do that. He has a business here. And I said, no, he doesn't. He has no customers here. He has no customers in this area at all in Rolla. He does this because he knows that he wants to give back to the community where he lives and become a part of being helpful in that community. The company is international. We have a presence in Europe. We have a presence in Asia. And all of this is because of Terry's vision and very stubborn, obstinate, won't give up, got to keep going, going to find a way to get through all this and get all this done the way it needs to be done. So this is what this hawk is for. It's for Terry and all that he has accomplished in 40 years that he's been building this company.